Hey guys, what's going on? January 21st. In this video, we're going to briefly talk about the companies that are reporting earnings that we're looking to trade the week of January 22nd through January 26th. So we've got various sectors. We've got some companies here from technology sector. We've got some transports who will give us a good idea of where ultimately the market will be headed. Semiconductor stocks. Clearly, after a super run on Friday in the semiconductor stocks, you probably want to know, hey, what are the semiconductor stocks that are worthwhile watching this week? So let's just get straight down to business. Your most interesting trades are going to be right here on SML. SML is a huge semiconductor stock that will be reporting on Wednesday before market, so put that on your schedule. We are going to be trading ASML, and I've got a ton of charts, guys. I've got 32 stocks. We studied the charts for all of them. There's some really interesting plays here, but as far as semiconductors, okay, ASML. Now, there's 2 more days. There's tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday before ASML is going to go into the report. So keep in mind that something that I've been explaining over the course of multiple videos lately is sometimes stocks will run up in the expectation of a great earnings report. So considering the momentum, semiconductors just simply cannot do anything wrong right now unless the time comes at the earnings report and they did do something wrong. Then the sky's the limit on put options. But overall, clearly, you got 3 stocks, major stocks that all institutions absolutely in love with. You got Nvidia that just broke out. It based off the chart, there was a probability it was going to fade, but it didn't. And TSM is another one that could have faded and it didn't. And lastly, SMCI. We spent the whole video on that stock. So the breakouts also happening with a grand magnitude, not so much with Nvidia, right? It's just kind of 10, 13 bucks a day. But like when you look at some of the other stocks, I mean, $100 TSM stock broke out 13 points in a single trading session. So some of these moves, they are really showing a move expansion to the upside. So, but considering ASML has made such a substantial run to the upside already, if it keeps running Monday, if it keeps running Tuesday, okay, and at the time of the earnings report, it keeps running higher, look, at that point, the stock is going to be so much up in the last few trading sessions that it could make sense to short it. So I'll probably post a separate video on that the morning of the ASML report. Remember, we're not looking to necessarily short any stocks ahead of the earnings report. There's probably 2 or 3 on the list that I will do it with, but majority of the stocks, guys, we're waiting for the report first. We're waiting for the market reaction to the report, and then we're going to trade that reaction in the opposite direction. So key component that I want to dive into when it comes to trading earnings is you cannot be thinking it doesn't matter whether you trade stocks or stock options. It doesn't matter when it comes to earnings reports. You cannot be thinking of earnings report as an event that simply moves the stock higher or lower. And unfortunately, 90% of the traders, that's how they think. Well, is LMT, is it going to go up or down? IBM, is it going to go up or down? Tesla, is it going to go up or down? Okay, it's bullshit. So you cannot make money if you're simply just trying to figure out, okay, is something going to go up or down? Because there's going to be what happens at earnings, because most of the companies, they're going to report earnings either pre-market, like you see, before market open, or after market close. So this initial reactions are going to be happening outside of market hours. And with rare exceptions, there's only a few companies that could be reporting during trading hours, but everything on the list here, these are the companies announcing in the morning before market opens. These are all the companies we're tracking that are announcing earnings after hours. So important to pay attention to the type of move that a company is creating on the chart after the earnings announcement. So clearly, considering how bullish the sentiment is right now, considering how strong of a momentum we've had on a Friday. So there's a probability that everyone's going to be going into this week trying to buy the dip. So initially, company may be reporting earnings, it drops like a rock, but then after hours, they're slowly trying to pick it up. And when market opens, well, hey, potentially it could move slightly lower again. They're going to buy that dip again and run it higher. So it's not just a matter. In order for you to nail the trade, right, you cannot just be simply looking at this, well, is it up or down? Oftentimes, the companies you see are going to initially drop during your earnings report. At the market open at 9:30, they will actually go higher. Some of the companies had a substantial run. They can make a pullback, or they can completely reverse. So as a trader, you have to basically utilize a strategy based on charts, based on 13 market moves, based on the sequence of 13 market moves. Which strategy do you apply? Where do you actually use your entry? Because you could be going in a stock like ASML, for example. Let's just role play this through to prepare you for Wednesday. So if ASML indeed does run up higher on Monday, it runs up higher on Tuesday. I mean, come Wednesday, I mean, in the last 4 trading sessions, the stock could be up 100, 150 bucks. So what are you going to do? I expect that it's going to move another 50 higher. Expect it's going to move another 100 higher. At some point, I mean, there's going to be some selling. And depending on how high it runs into the earnings report, I mean, you will see pre-market, okay, the initial reaction. You will also be able to see the pattern that is developing, and you'll be able, if you understand divergence, if you understand the chart patterns, if you understand the 13 market move sequence, you'll be able to make a very good decision. But just don't think of this as something simply going up or down, because it could look like something's going to go up in the first 5 minutes, it's going to reverse the hell out. It's going to look like something's dropping initially, and then it's going to pump like crazy when the market opens up. So it's not just thinking whether something's going to go up or down. As a trader, you're supposed to figure out, well, where's this reversal point is going to be? Because, for example, even in stocks like SMCI, after it reports earnings, right, it goes into the earnings report at 307. Pre-market, right, it jumps at like 350, gets to like 350 and some change, and then it makes a pullback to like 340. And so until the market opens, it trades right here in the 340. And then it finishes the session at 412. So, overall, the sentiment in the semiconductor stocks is so strong that, most of the pullbacks are probably going to be bought, unless, this thing is already 200 points up going into the earnings report in the prior few trading days. So that's just something to keep in mind. And LRCX is the next one, guys. LRCX is, all of these are really good products for trading, because a definition for 13 market moves of a stock that's good for trading options, something that trades over 100 bucks, something that is capable of making large size moves, because we are looking to trade directional options. If something doesn't move, you don't have a chance to make any money, any substantial money. So stocks like that, guys, that's why they are on the list. Another one I threw in here, STM, that's another semiconductor stock. Now, that's a cheapie. It doesn't fit our standard definition, but I've been able to catch some really good trades on that in the past, catching a move on this from 25 bucks at one instance all the way down to like 14. So it's a cheapie. For those of you maybe that has a smaller account, you may not be able to get an option on ASML or LRCX because they're $600-700 stocks. But on STM, you can place a trade on that. Now, the chart looks pretty tricky on this, so I would encourage you to go to 13MMTV and sign up, talk to a coach before you place a trade on some of these. So to summarize, you got 3 companies that are semiconductor stocks that could run exponentially higher this week, considering the sentiment. I'm about to show you some charts on these guys to help you understand why this may not be ideal to short them, unless, again, the only criteria, if they're just going to run over the next couple of days before they head into the earnings report, if they just run like exponentially higher, okay, there's going to be some profit taken at some point. So at this point, you're not looking for crash in these names. You're looking, I mean, they could be running higher for a couple of weeks here until we get that moment where it's going to be this ideal moment to just short them at the very, very top. So considering the chart patterns that we're reviewing here, okay, this may not be the moment yet. All right, guys, ton of defense stocks are reporting on Tuesday morning. So LMT, RTX, another one later in the week. On Thursday, you got NOC. So all of these, they're in the same sector. So by analyzing the reaction after LMT and RTX, you pretty much will know what's going to happen with NOC. These stocks are highly, highly intercorrelated. And clearly the correlation is positive between all of them. What this is going to do is likely this is going to do, and what this one's like to repeat the same behavior. So these are very interesting stocks because clearly we got World War III on the horizon. They should be outperforming pretty much everything, but just like oil stocks, they're not doing anything right now. Some critical information to know, because we like to trade LMT, each earnings report, and sometimes outside of just understanding the reaction to the earnings report, it is important to understand, well, what is the normal reaction of a stock, because some of them will have the same behavior during the earnings report. Very important on LMT, it doesn't matter, sometimes it has great earnings, it beats on revenue, it beats on all other sorts of criteria, but the stock often does this. It flies to the moon at the open and then it sells off. So sometimes it pays off to just really on the pump, you short it. So, and this got a very, very high consistent behavior on bounces, and it's highly repetitive. I would say in 90% of instances, this is the trade. Now, just because at the open it may bounce to the moon, it's going to be green, 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 green candles, right? You know, it doesn't mean that it's not going to make that reversal, because again, there's like a 90% probability that LMT, after initially, it should have good earnings, right? So naturally, they're going to start buying it up, and then just understand, you're not trading the earnings report, you're trading the reaction. And it helps to understand that some tickers like LMT, they're very consistent with their behavior during the earnings day after the earnings announcement. And so the most consistent behavior in LMT is bounce and a drop, pump and dump, okay? Now, if exactly the opposite happens, right? They always buy the dip on this one. They always. There's not, like for LMT to have like a move 3, basically where it gaps down and it drops again, and bounce, drop, 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 and does that for the rest of the day. Like that's almost like, the probability of that probably like 2%. Okay, so on LMT, you want to trade with the 13 market moves coach. It could look bullish. It makes sense. Hey, with all the geopolitical issues, United States is in no rush to stop all these wars worldwide. Again, the fact that the United States pumps so much oil tells you that the outlook is the United States is going to multiple wars. And so the foundation for these stocks to go higher is there. It doesn't necessarily guarantee that all of a sudden they're going to start running, because there's something, this oil sector and this defense sector, it's not doing the things it's supposed to be doing right now. Okay, so 3 stocks that we're likely to trade. We're not necessarily going to trade all of them, but if I was to be faced with a decision, trade LMT or RTX, I'm going to trade LMT. Simple as that. Now, this stock's been in the doghouse for years. If it pumps, you just short it. That's it. J&J, guys, that's healthcare, pharma, biotech. Those stocks has done really good in the first week when the market was dropping, considering how highly bullish the sentiment has turned in the last couple of days, Thursday, Friday, right? The market is going to be going in really bullish into tomorrow through the rest of the week. So considering the recent reaction in the behavior in the healthcare sector, I would say J&J would be a sell. And overall, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean that the stock's just going to drop right after the earnings report. But, you know, Humana, you know, ELV, all of these healthcare related names, they're either slowly dropping, or they're just dropping in a huge way, they're bouncing and they're dropping again. So any kind of bounce in J&J, I think that's an opportunity to short. DHI, of course, everyone's saying how beautiful the home builders are. I actually really like this trade because it looks like it's just about to break out, but in not so recent past, we've seen some really interesting patterns on these home builders. So I'm not going to tell you exactly how we're going to trade it right now, because I'm going to pay close attention to how the stock will actually react initially. And I will say this though, if it is bouncing on low volume, we're going to short this thing. So overall though, guys, besides the day trading strategy that day, I mean, clearly, I mean, we're bullish on these names in the defense overall, right? Bullish on these names. Considering the momentum in the semiconductor, you want to be bullish in these unless they just run to insane levels. MMM, just the chart is just, it's just screaming. The chart just screams, hey, if anybody's gonna pump this stock, just short, okay? Netflix chart, guys, they've pumped the hell out of this thing. I'll record a separate video on Netflix before the earnings report, but right now we're leaning towards the bear side on Netflix. So it's a weird thing how in the last few days, a lot of stocks, a lot of technology stocks, they're pumping, but there's a few stocks that just don't participate in the rally at all, which means even on good days like Friday, it's been an awesome day for technology stocks. Nobody's bidding Netflix. Actually, that was our short, and it did okay, 7xer on puts on Netflix on Friday. But guys, Netflix, Tesla, okay, they're not participating in the rally. So I think money is going out of these two stocks, and that's why we're seeing some insane moves in stocks like ASML, LRCX, SMCI, AMD. All of these stocks, their momentum, velocity, the speed at which they're accelerating throughout the day. I mean, we have not seen this. I've even called it in the last video, like these stocks are like, this is the only sector that's partying like it's 1999. So it's going to be hard to stop this rate of momentum, I think, unless, you know, like this one comes out before market opens on Wednesday and say, oh shit, you know, we don't see a bright future ahead. So if this one gives a bad guidance, it's finita la commedia. It's over, guys. But if everything is according, even if it misses, they probably will forgive it. But nobody will forgive a poor guidance if it's substantially off. So that would be the figure to watch on these. ISRG chart is super bullish, guys. Just a beautiful, beautiful chart. But guess what? This is a healthcare stock. It's run up recently quite a bit. So I'm not expecting a whole lot on this one after the report. But if it bounces, we're likely to short. So all of these stocks, like healthcare stocks, J&J, ISRG, okay, anything that's in the healthcare sector, by the way, Humana will be reporting Thursday, right? This stock is down so much. Okay, this one would be tough. I mean, it would be a tough trade. Could drop a little bit more, but I think the options are going to be so overpriced on this one. It's going to be really, really tough to win. But if it dips to like 350, 380, I think it's at 400 right now. If in the next few days they're going to sell it into the earnings report, I think the only way from there is a logical bounce. So pay attention to how these stocks are acting going into the earnings reports, right? That's another thing. How do we nail the Netflix trade, right? I posted a video. I said, look, based on all the instances where we've traded Netflix over the last 7 years since we've been keeping track of these earnings and moves, right? Netflix has a high probability of selling going into the earnings report, and sold off a little bit, not too much, but that was an easy trade because that was the last week. Friday was the last week for Netflix to have these cheap options, and now options are going to be way overpriced. So the only way you can get like a possible 10x on Netflix would be to wait and trade it after the earnings announcement. So what we got, TXT is it's kind of like it's a good play, construction infrastructure, but we've looked at these materials sector. It's not really doing that good. So this one is a big question. I think this one could go either way. If it bounces, I would short it. URI, United Rentals, beautiful chart, just almost impeccable. And you know what? When something looks just too perfect, I mean, it's just too perfect. I know if the report does not come out too perfect, when the chart looks so damn perfect, okay, there's could be a big opportunity right here. AMP Financial had a strong move on Friday. What can we say? This one is trading close to all-time highs. It could be a really nice, interesting trade right here. CSX, we're not looking to trade it, but I've been talking about how a lot of transport stocks have been topping. We've got two transports. CSX is a big one because it's a railway, and we got another railway, UNP, on Thursday. So I'll be not necessarily, I definitely won't be trading CSX. I may be trading UNP, but the idea here is to really listen to what these companies have to say on the earnings report. Because if they see a slowdown, again, transports is your sector that points to, okay, is the economy really going to slow down, all right? And if they mention that on the earnings calls, I mean, that's one of the way, and the market can initially ignore it, right? But that's one of the way to really put your strategy together, because last week we had a warning sign from Discover Financial. If now we have transports saying something on the earnings reports like, hey, things are just, we think, you know, the revenues are going to drop. You know, if there is some negative outlook that's coming from these two, I mean, it's not good for the entire market. So we may just have one sector like semiconductors just keep running, but this is not like a good sign. But overall, let's go back to the healthcare. I didn't mention something very important. The fact that healthcare stocks like Humana and even like all-time favorite like LLY, we had such a strong case for this thing to run higher, and it did run higher. It almost hit like 650 finally, but since then it's reversed, and now the chart's starting to look really bearish. I mean, it should have broken out way higher. All right, but LLY is also in the same category of J&J, ISRG, and Humana, and basically, you know, it shows signs of exhaustion, and so I wouldn't be shocked if semiconductor stocks kept rallying higher. That these stocks, J&J, LLY, ISRG, and Humana, I mean, they could sell off a little bit more. So, but again, it depends on where do they go into the earnings report. Like Humana, I mean, they hit it so hard last week. I mean, how much further can this thing drop? Another 20 points, another 30 points, another 40 points? At some point, they're going to start buying this thing. So IBM, guys, this is probably one of my favorite trades for this week. This one and CHW, guys. I like CHW chart. I mean, this could be, this could be a definite 20xer right here. CHW could be a definite 20xer. You guys trade it. Sign up. Go to 13mmtv.com. Trade CHW with a 13 Market Moves coach. There's a 20x trade based off the chart. It's going to be phenomenal. IBM, guys. Something you should know about IBM is it's finally, over the course of like 5 years, IBM is finally getting to a point where Warren Buffett bought it like 6 years ago at like around 170. What most people don't know is that IBM, after Warren Buffett bought a ton of IBM, it dropped to 118, and he said, fuck it, I'm selling this piece of shit. And so he unloaded all of his IBM holdings at 118. Now, some of these things, guys, you don't hear in the news, right? Because Warren Buffett, shit, he gets everything right, okay? And when you look at the guy like Warren Buffett, you're like, well, shit, how can, you know, anybody else come close to Warren Buffett? Warren Buffett, guys, does exactly the opposite of what the media likes to talk about. Media will tell you diversify your shit. The reason Warren made so much money because he put a lot of money into just a few companies, and he got these trades right. He got these investments right, and he got them, and they've paid off for him handsomely. And there's a lot of trades he does, or short-term investments like IBM, that did not pin out. He lost 35% on this, and it's now just getting back to that level. So 170, 180 on IBM is the level of multi-year resistance, and it's just going back to that level. So there's two things going to happen. It's going to slash right through it. I think the opposite is going to happen. We can catch a really nice trade on the IBM. And guys, this sometimes multiple year of resistance, some levels that were bought by mistake. I think a lot of people, if it makes a move higher after the earnings report, I think a lot of people will sell it. So could be a great opportunity move to on an IBM after the report. LRCX, we've talked about now. Like that's the company, bro. That chart is unbelievable. The chart on NOW almost looks just like the chart on LRCX, ASML, SMCI. I mean, this stock just keeps running. As a matter of fact, the chart on this almost looks like the chart of Amazon when Amazon just broke out of like back in the days when Amazon reported its first profitable quarter. The stock was like at 340. It reports it. I remember buying calls in it, and it goes to like 370, which is like a big move. It's like a 10% move in one day. Nice trade. And then from there, it just never stops. Just Amazon just keeps going higher and higher and higher. Before you know, shit, it's like at 750. It pauses, you know, and then makes a pull. Before you know, it's at 1,000. Before you know, it's at 1,500. We shorted at 1,700. Nailed that. Drops down to 1,200. Goes back to 2,000. Shorted that at 2,150. Guys, I remember all these trades really well. So what I'm saying is NOW. It's probably not very far from hitting its first moment, like after a strong run, just like Amazon. Maybe it's got another $50 in it here. But I mean, this chart is strong. It would be very difficult. You'd really have to time this trade like perfectly to nail this one. But I mean, the chart is just, it's perfect. It's perfection. But sometimes within perfection lies a great opportunity because the whole world thinks it's just too perfect, you know? So PKG, the chart on this looks like shit. I don't like it. So could be an easy trade within this. Chart on this looks like it's traded to break out EXP. VLO chart looks like shit. I mean, it's a refiner, it's an oil. The chart should not look so horrible, but it does. COF could repeat what DFS did last week. Wall recovered since last year. Remember Wall, that's the stock that went from like 60 almost in straight shot down to 12, and surely, I mean, other banks bailed them out, and a lot of them are trading back to the same levels they were trading exactly 12 months from now. But any kind of surprise from this, I mean, this could make a wild move to the downside. Visa, despite of what happened to DFS last week, it just keeps running higher. Like, hey, they didn't get the memo that the delinquencies are up, so I don't know what exactly they're expecting from Visa. They're expecting Visa to not do anything wrong ever. This stock, again, I mean, this one, I'm not looking to trade it, but I'm just saying, right? If I was to trade one, I'd probably wait till next week. I think MasterCard is going to report, so I'd trade MA over Visa. But I mean, this stock really got in the hell, ahead of itself. I mean, that's a fact. So could be a major bear divergence developing. It could evolve into an interesting trade. Intel, look, all the dead corpses coming back alive. Intel normally is an easy, super easy trade. I mean, it just drops every time after the earnings report. Considering how well some of these stocks and the momentum in these stocks, I mean, we could be shocked off guard. This could be the first time actually Intel, after report, it could actually fucking go higher. Imagine that. So, and on Friday before market, we've got AXP, which is MasterCard. So, not expecting a big move out of that one, but could be a repetition of a DFS, so keep this one on your radar. Guys, I've got a ton of charts here, right? I mean, I've got chart after chart after chart. We've done our homework, okay? And so, look, there's 32 stocks here. We do our due diligence on all these stocks, and this is just a daily chart. We look at the weekly chart. We look at the daily. We look at the 5-day. Sometimes traders ask me, Leo, what is the time frame that you suggest that I look at? And my answer is, look at every fucking time frame. You're looking to place a trade, look at every fucking time frame. Like 1 minute, 1 day, 1 minute, 2 day, 2 minute, 3 day, 3 minute, 5 day, 5 minute, 5 day, 15 minute, okay, 10 day. Look at 20-day chart, look at a daily chart, weekly chart, look at multiple time frame charts. It takes you 5 minutes to look at all of them time frames. So, and that's what we do here, guys. That's what we do here at 13 Market Moves. That is why we have a higher probability of nailing these earnings trades, because we do the homework, okay? And then we also have these behavioral patterns, and we have, like, on LMT, what I was trying to explain to you on LMT, it's got a high repetitive behavior every time it reports, right? So when we notice a pattern like that, okay, we have a statistical advantage over an average trader trading that during earnings, because we have the stats on this behavioral pattern of this stock. And it has nothing to do with the actual earnings report. It has to do with a behavioral pattern. So, guys, there's a lot goes into putting these trades, especially like you gotta be quick. When the market opens, I spent some time and on video about Netflix. I pointed out how important it is to be ready, 100% ready. You got to have your strategy, your strikes. You got to have everything ready. So when the market opens, you're not trying to figure out, oh, am I going to go bullish or bearish on this? You're ready. You are executing your trading plan. So I just laid out in general stuff for you right here in this video. But if you want to know the details, okay, I mean, all of these charts, guys, we've gone through them, we've studied them, and we're gonna study them some more, okay, over the course of the next couple of days, because again, some stocks will keep running into the earnings report. So they're gonna be going into the earnings report at a much elevated level. Some stocks are gonna sell off before the earnings report. And so that information is critical when you make your final strategy of exactly where's gonna be your entry, where's gonna be your exit, what type of move you're targeting. It's going to be a lot more clear once you see the initial reaction after the earnings report. So if you want to nail some 10x, 20x trades, guys, we're going to nail a bunch of them this week. So I invite you to trade with 13 Market Moves Coach, guys. Don't waste your time. Go to 13mmtv.com or 13marketmoves.com. Okay, click a big orange button that says schedule a call. Talk to a senior coach here at 13 Market Moves. Sign up. Guys, you have nothing to lose. You can trade 1 week, these earnings reports, okay? If you don't at least triple your account, hey, you can keep doing what you're doing, all right? But chances are you're not only going to triple your account this week with 13 Market Moves Coach, you're probably going to quadruple. Some of you guys are going to go 5x, 10x. So if you wonder what it's like to 10x your account on week 2 of earnings, Monday the 22nd through Friday the 26th, you can find out what it actually feels like to put together these sort of trades. So it's all in your power right now. 13mmtv.com, big orange button. Click it. Take action. I'll see you guys in the next video soon. Big trades this week. Don't miss them.